What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the GSD show. I'm Mike Garcia, and today I'm bringing you something special. This episode is a talk from one of our quarterly boot camps. Every quarter, we run these boot camps and they focus specifically on topics like finance, leadership, marketing, and more. And this talk actually comes from our sales boot camp. And if you want to find out how you can attend our next boot camp on systems and scaling, which is coming up soon, reach out to sales@loudrumor.com. Anyway, in this talk, Loud Rumor's performance consultant, Corbyn May, shares with you the 5 components of the sale. This was one of the top rated talks of this particular boot camp, and I'm sharing it with you for free here today.
For me, there are 5 components of the sale. Number 1, we're going to talk a little bit about production and activity. Number 2, we're going to talk about the telephone inquiry, input and output. Number 3, we're going to discuss confirmation and preparation for the lead. Number 4, we have the client intake. Number 5, ultimately, we have the handoff and handback. So let's talk a little bit about production and activity. A lot of you think that production begins on the shift. Well, production and activity begins in the initial hiring process. When we're looking for front desk workers, sales associates, they have to be ready, prepared, willing in order to help you achieve the sales goals and metrics that you want. So employee onboarding is critical. For me, you got just under 21 days, the first 3 weeks to successfully onboard an employee, get them up learning all from welcoming your members through the door to how your CRM works, all the way up and through into the initial intake form as well. So with that being said, on the initial hiring, you have to ask your employee, are they ready? Are they willing to make phone calls? Are they ready and willing to make sales? Because that truly is the foundation for me. Anything when we're teaching on the initial sales process, employees have to understand the why before the how. Now, I know there are some employees on here as well. We want to know why before we do it, right? What are the metrics? Why does this add up? And for a lot of people, this is their first time really in a sales organization, a fitness studio in sales, right? So in there, why do we need to make 100 calls per day? Why do we need to make 120 calls per day? Then we can understand the numbers behind that as we talk a little bit about a numbers game. We also know that phones set the tone, and you've often heard of the phrase of smile and dial. We need employees that are willing and able to do that, right? We also know that employees love to text. We have a younger generation that are coming through that like to text, and often consumers still pick up the phone. So again, coming back to that willingness and able to. Mike often talks about 80% of sales are made between the 5th and 12th touch points, right? Whether or not that's email, text, calls. And it's not about getting people to buy when we're ready, but about getting people to buy when they are ready. And I want to talk to you a lot about that. Some startling statistics that I want to worry you with. 25% of all salespeople make 2 contacts and quit. 48% of all salespeople don't even follow up. Now think of that as we come out of a global pandemic, or we're in a global pandemic right now. Your competitors, how many of your competitors are part of that 25%? How many of your competitors are part of that 48%? And how can you be different? So let's talk a little bit about production and activity. Now, look, we've discussed that it has to be done. Output has to be done. But let's get a little bit creative on some of our approach as well. Often during our follow-up, I'd love to hear a message from the coach. Hi, this is Coach Corbyn from Corbyn's Fitness. I'm excited for you to take a workout here. Here's what you can expect, right? That could be an initial call, an initial text. We've often heard and had seen many of our members have success with video texts. It's an anomaly. We don't see that enough being done. So a video text can be extremely useful. How about a message from the owner or from the manager? Hi, I'm Corbyn, studio manager from Corbyn's Fitness. Here's what we're doing to keep you safe for your very first class, right? As we navigate through a global pandemic, what's on your members' minds? What's on, as a consumer, what's on your mind when you're going to walk into a fitness studio? We're going to talk a lot about that as well. Videos on what they can expect, right? We're seeing right now, we have a consumer that's a little bit worried about health, cleanliness, social distancing, right? So a video on what they can expect so that they can visibly see themselves inside of the studio. I also love seeing a picture of client results and testimonials. That can also be part of your follow-up. So my challenge for you is to think like a consumer. The last note that I'll give you as well on production and activity on this page is to reset your reviews. As a consumer myself, anything pre-March of 2020, pre-pandemic, I'm not acknowledging that as a review anymore, right? My good friend out in Oxygen Yoga in Victoria, Ranj, 67 5-star Google reviews in the last 2 months. 67 5-star Google reviews. She recently acquired a customer who said, I was looking you guys up, I saw you guys on Yelp or on Google, and I just saw all of the comments, all of the feedback over the last few months about cleanliness, the overall experience. So I'm going to challenge you to reset your reviews and look to ask your customers or your members in order to do new reviews. And it's as simple as this. We got to make it super easy for them. Hey, would you mind doing a review for us? Would you mind going on Google or Yelp? I'm going to text you the link so that they can do it on their way to the car when we finish out of the session. Preparation with lead input and output. Do you have a game plan for after a lead comes in? Do you have a game plan for welcoming new members? What does a same-day text look like? What does the next day call look and sound like? Right? Get creative on some of our approach. Maybe a day 5 text from a coach. Day 7, a text with a picture. Day 9, a video text about a themed class. Hey, we have a themed workout coming up on this date and this date. Will you join us? Right? We know that we've got to get between that 5th and 12th touch point as fast as possible and as creatively as possible. The next thing, don't forget, we've also got to welcome our new members. We've also got to facilitate those guys, and they need follow-up too as well. So be creative on your approach. Before a lead comes in, that's another one, a confirmation text. What if they don't show? Are we prepared? Are we ready to handle that? You'll see my good friends out there in Oxygen, again, I think Saskatchewan this is, look how they have the sticky notes on their computer desktop. That's going to create efficiency. So now we're going to be able to copy and paste text messages. We're able to insert names, numbers, timelines, all that kind of stuff. But the actual outline of the text is there. It's ready for your front desk, for your membership consultants, whatever they might be, to be the most efficient and to be ready to go. And that way we can really talk a lot about sales pace and activity and increasing that. We've got to log all contact points. Every contact point inside of a lead, we have to log. So as an example here, July 1st, 2020, the lead comes in, we've acquired the lead. Now we're going to call them. I've left voicemail script number 1 because I'm looking at my dashboard. Now I have 3 to 5 different voicemail scripts to vary it. Voicemail script number 1 plus text message number 1, done by Corbyn May. 7-2, the next day, looks like Mike Arcee's going to come through here. He's now going to hit them with a new text message inside of that and a different email. He's now logging his initials after. So you'll see there's many different components inside or many different people inside of the sale. Or it could be just singular. You as the individual are working that lead. Well, that's why you want to have a variance of different text messages and emails. Notice on 7-3, we talk a lot about the text from the manager. 7-4, 7-5, we've now hit them. So with an initial follow-up, just a basic guideline to give, typically Sales 101, for me at least, we go 5 for 5. So we need a contact point while they're a hot lead every day for at least the first 5 days, all the while they're hot. Then I move them out 3 for 3. They've cooled off in the kind of the first 5 days. I haven't heard back from them or anything like that. I'm now going to cool off and go to about 3 for 3. So I've got day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5. And we can have multiple touch points inside of that day. Then I'm going to move on. Day number 8, I'm going to do something a little different. Day number 11, and that gets me to day number 14. From then on out, we're going to hit them about every 4 to 7 days, and we're going to alternate on days. I wouldn't push people out a week in advance because you might be hitting that same person on a Tuesday, and that Tuesday might be the long shift of the day, so about every 5 to 7 days. And again, this is what an MBO really looks like. Have we hit the lead? Have we selected the follow-up date? And are we logging all of that? Let's move on to a little bit about sales pace calculator. The metrics for a successful fitness studio for the month. Each employee here on this sales pace calculator has their own tab where they're going to put the amount of hours that they worked, the calls that they made, they're going to put the appointments that they've booked, and then from there they're going to put in their set, show, and closed. You'll notice DQ stands for disqualified. Why are we disqualifying leads? So on that, I'm going to require a comment section. How much revenue did they sell on that day? Ultimately, that's all going to translate into a manager's report, and you're going to be able to work out how many hours they've been working, all of your employees, how many total calls, and you'll notice this is pace. How many calls per hour is your studio putting out? Right here we got about 6.25. How many appointments have we booked? What does the book percentage look like that? What is our show percentage? And what is our sales percentage look like? And this is going to help you with a manager's tab right there. Anyone that's part of Lab Rumor's team organization with me, feel free to reach out to me if you don't have this. But this is exactly the numbers and metrics of the foundation that you need in order to create lead production and activity. So as I finish up and close up topic number 1, I'm going to ask you a quick reflection question. Number 1, do I have lead production expectations for myself as an employee or for my team if I'm a studio manager or owner? Number 2, do I have scripts prepared, ready inside of the dashboard so I can create overall efficiency? And number 3, am I notating all of my contact log details? Component number 2 of the perfect fitness studio sales. The telephone inquiry. We're going to talk a little bit about input, and we're going to talk a little bit about telephone output. We've discussed a little bit of that. Now let's talk about when the lead comes in. We're going to go over, I'm going to give you a soundbite of what a telephone inquiry looks like. Some points that you're going to notice along the way. Notice how we begin by asking the first questions. You're going to hear Mike and Matt and some of our other presenters talk about how we control the conversation in sales. And the initial approach, we've got to control that. And we do that by asking the initial questions. That might be, thank you for calling Corbyn's Fitness Studio. This is Corbyn. Who am I speaking with? I'm going to get a response, and now I have that person's name. The next question I'm going to ask is, are you a current member of ours? Yes or no? That's going to allow me to open up their profile on my CRM or begin creating a profile on my CRM for them, because now I have their name and I now know if they're a member or not, so I can begin that. My third question, I'm going to find out, are you a local resident to Scottsdale, Arizona, or wherever you might be at the time? Why is a local resident important? Well, as we offer a free week or a free session or even a paid introductory offer, we want to find out if they're even eligible to come in for that offer. If not, then we're going to take them down the preferred guest rate or whatever that might be, the drop-in session there. Next, we want to find out useful information, stuff that's going to help us inside of the sale. So for example, how did you hear about us? If we're going down the referral route, oh, my friend Sally comes. Oh my God, Sally Jones. Oh my God, she's one of our favorite people. Now we have a connection. Now we know that we have a referral that I can always leverage Sally. How did you hear about us? Maybe on Facebook, maybe on Instagram. Well, now I know for marketing purposes, I'm going to log that down. They were a Facebook lead. They were an Instagram lead. What are you currently doing for fitness? And we're going to talk a little bit about explaining the workout, right? So finding out useful information is such things as, what are you currently doing for fitness? That's going to help us. Next, we're going to offer them the introductory session. I'd love to extend an invite. I'd love for you to be my guest for that free week, for that complimentary session. When is best for you? When can I get you in for your first class? I have availability on mornings, middays, or evenings. Your goal is to book them in within 36 hours. They are hot. You're on their mind. We don't want it to feel like a doctor's appointment when we book it for next Friday. We want to get them in today or tomorrow, within 36 hours. As I go back to my contact logs, my record is number 22. I reached out and was able to successfully get a lady on the phone at the 22nd touch point. And I said, I've been reaching out to you for the past, I don't know, few months. She goes, yeah, today was the day I just decided to pick up the phone. I was like, great, well, I'd love to get you in for your first class. She's like, great, I'd love to do that. Let's do it Thursday. I said, nope, let's do it today, because it sounds like today's the day that you need to do it, right? So we want to generate that urgency inside of it. We also want to show that we are the fitness or wellness solution for them, right? So by finding out what they're currently doing for fitness, this is going to arm us with future information, and that's all going to get contact logged and put inside of the notes so that we can be best prepared as they come in. Next, a little question that we can ask. What are your expectations of a fitness studio this time? So we're going to talk a little bit later about objection handling. One of the most recent objections you're going to get is COVID, the COVID objection, right? It is if all the objections before were hard enough, now we've added in the COVID objection. I'm scared, or I have a family member, or whatever that might be, or I just want to know what you guys are doing. So why not come out with that at the initial approach? What are your expectations of a fitness studio during this time? And we're going to talk a little bit about closing people that are closable. If they have unrealistic expectations of your fitness studio during the telephone inquiry, then they're not going to be ready for that very first class. If they think that you should have no more than 3 people in your fitness studio at a time, well, that's a little bit unrealistic on there. So we can then also turn this into a wow moment, where we can say, look, we're following the latest guidelines. We're doing all of this to keep you clean and safe. And now we can offer that expectation into a wow moment on there. Finally, we're going to confirm all of the details. All right, so-and-so, I've got you, or Sally, I've got you down for 6 p.m. on Tuesday night. I'll let your instructor or Coach Corbyn know to expect you and to arrive early, about 20 minutes early. The final thing that we want to do is we confirm all of the details. We want to get the credit card on file, right? So the last thing I'm going to say is all I need from you is a debit or credit card in order to reserve your spot in class. This is a completely complimentary session. Nothing will be charged. This just holds your spot and reserves your spot in class. Finally, I'm ready for a debit or credit card when you are. Again, now you notice we've asked the first questions. We've set the tone. We've controlled the sale. So now there really shouldn't be that many objections with respect to asking for the credit card to put that spot on. There is a significant difference in show rate, and there is a significant difference in the ultimately closing when getting a credit card on file. Last question, and I learned this one from Mike Arce, and I'm going to add this one in. This is one of my favorite questions. Last question. I know I've asked you a little bit about your goals or found out a little bit about what you're currently doing for fitness, but why are you showing up for this appointment tomorrow? Why are you making time for us? Now, this is a question that we don't get asked enough when booking appointments, when going to a spa or whatever that might be, similar kind of appointment setting. Why are you showing up? Why are you making time for this appointment? Because this is now going to connect them internally with something a lot deeper. Why? Why are you showing up tomorrow? Why are you making time? It's a busy life. We have so many things going on in the world right now. Why are you making time? So if you notice your show rate starts to decrease, I'm going to challenge you to start asking that question. I want you to find out why before they even show up. Right? The other thing that we can do as well, I'm not going to step too much into marketing. You got an exceptional presenter coming, Patrick, later today, but encourage them with an additional offer. Encourage them with a little extra bonus to either get them to call you or to get them to show up. Maybe another free class, something like that to get them to show up. Outbound calls and texts, some of our hardest. We got to call. We're going out to now get them to call us, right? We got to acknowledge the inconvenience. Trust me, it's never a good time. It's never a good time for people, right? So, hi, this is so-and-so, or this is Corbyn from Corbyn's Fitness. I saw you submitted your information. I'd love to get you booked for your first free week. When are you able to get started? Sometimes when we ask, how are you? Well, I'm busy. That's usually my response. I'm busy right now. That's not even an actual answer to the question of how are you, but that's a common response that we get now. So I'm just going to jump right in. I saw you submitted your information. I'd love to get you booked. I'm going to jump straight to the point. You'll notice as well, there's a little bit of a balance between using text messages until you need the credit card. And so some of our employees love to book appointments via credit card, via text message. However, we also got to get to the point where we do need a credit card on file, and that's going to allow you to get them on the phone and allow you to answer that final question of, why are you making time? Why are you showing up? Right? Or I saw you claimed your free week. Your offer ends next week. So you have a week to claim your free week. When would you like to start? So now we're going to create expirations in order to create urgency in order to do that. So, reflection period right now. I'm going to challenge you. Am I being creative enough to get someone excited to come work out at my studio? Second question I want you to ask yourself, are we staying persistent with lead follow-up? Third component of the sales process, the confirmation and the preparation texts. So, let's say we booked someone for 48 hours, or we booked someone for Thursday and it's a Monday. We always want to confirm the appointment. Typically, you want to confirm the morning's appointments the night before, and you want to confirm evening appointments the morning of. We're going to confirm things such as the address, what time they're arriving, and what they should bring. You always want to negate a response. So I usually put things such as reply C in order to confirm, or reply yes in order to confirm your appointment. Next, they're going to show up, right? When we've confirmed and we're prepared, we're ready, we're going to have them walk through the door and show up. We only get one first impression, meaning that we have to be organized and we have to be prepared and ready for them to show up. So consumers look for personal touches. They appreciate welcome signs. They love nameplates. They want to feel special and welcome when they walk in. I want you to think back. It's very daunting for a lot of our potential members, for a lot of our intros, to walk in the door. Perhaps one of the biggest acts of courage is walking into the door, pulling the handle and walking in that day to take a workout. So we want to alleviate that. We want our lobby to be inviting. We want the energy to be high. We want smiles. Even though we have a mask, we can smile with our eyes, right? We can smize there. So, right, nameplates. Be prepared to wow them. My friends over at Oxygen here, I love the nameplates, the little frames that we have. It shows that we're prepared. Irene is probably going to take a photo of that when she first walks in. Or Valerie, welcome to your first class of many, Valerie. Does that just take a whole sigh or a little breath when you walk in? Number one, you're ready, you're prepared. Number two, you're welcoming them and you're ready to wow them. What little touches can we do? As an example, right, and I go back to that confirmation text right here. Before a lead comes in, you're going to notice the script right here. Hi, Sally, this is Corbyn, confirming your first workout with us. So I'm going to confirm all of the details. The month and the day check-in time. Bring an ID with you. Again, we bring the ID because they are a local resident. We want to find out, make sure they are a local resident. We recommend bringing a water and a small towel. Maybe now our lockers and our showers aren't available for use. So now we got to correct that. Our address is here, next to here, next to the ice cream shop. Maybe I know my friends in Fort Collins. The Fort Collins there in Spenga next door is an ice cream shop. That's a landmark that we can use as well, post-workout. Please be advised, you'll notice on here as well, please be advised that there is a $1 no-show, no-call fee. For a lot of our studios that have a cancellation fee, that's a great place to put it. There's a $12 no-call, no-show fee. Reply yes to confirm. You're going to notice that I don't want their $12. I want them to show up. So let's go down to when they don't call or they no-show. Hi, this is Corbyn from so-and-so's fitness. How are you doing? Good. I'm calling to get your introductory class rescheduled. Typically, we charge $12 for a no-show, no call. But if I can reschedule you right now, I'll be able to waive that and get you the full experience that you deserve. What day and time is better for you, right? So a few takeaways on this one. Confirm, always get a response. So we might have to do a second confirmation. We might even leverage the fact that we might have to give up their spot. Let's say we don't get the response of yes or C. We might have to do a second confirmation text that says, hey, I might have to give up your spot. Somebody else wants it. Can you please confirm the appointment? And we want to leverage the cancellation fee for a reschedule. So as I wrap up this component, I want you to ask yourselves 3 questions. Number 1, are we ready, or what can we do to wow upon the first visit? Second question, would I be excited? Would you be excited to walk into your studio? Would it be inviting? How would you feel walking in? Is the energy there? Lastly, what would a secret shopper say? If you asked a friend or a family member from out of town to come in and go into your fitness studio, what would they say? So briefly, I want you to ask yourselves those 3 questions. We are over halfway through. I appreciate you guys staying with me. We got 2 components left, perhaps the 2 most important components of the sale. Number 4, the client intake process, the client intake form. For me, the client intake serves 3 objectives. Number 1, we're going to show that we listen and care for the client, right? Mike R.C. talked a little bit about that this morning. We're going to determine their goals and expectations of us. And the 3rd objective of the client intake form is to find objections, find why they're going to say no before they even come up. So in an hour's time, when they finish that workout and I present to them their membership, why are they going to say no to me? So let's talk a little bit about the client intake form. Typically, we're going to ask questions that cover the 5 main objections that we're going to see: time, money, spouse, shopping around. Think about it, right? The 5 most common objections that we see. We're going to break it down. Number 1, we want them to fill out profile information. We want to find their address, their phone number, emergency contact. This is all pertinent information that we need for our CRM. Next question, is Club Pilates conveniently located for you? Yes or no? Objection number 1 is going to be location. If they mark, no, it's not conveniently located for me. Perhaps we need to find them another location or figure that out. Maybe they're only coming in to be a weekend warrior or whatever that might be. Again, how did you hear about us for the member referral? So we want to build out the profile information. Next, we're going to put our schedule on the client intake form. We want to find out what days and times they prefer to work out. So we want them to select 3 to 4 days a week. Now remember, usually our unlimited memberships are best used how many times per week? 3 to 4 times per week. What is our most common objection? I don't have time to attend. We are going to alleviate that. We are going to find out. Now, let's say they do only circle 1 time per the week. Maybe they have childcare, whatever that might be. Then you know the unlimited membership is not the option for them because you already know the objection, right? To Mike's point, don't sell them on something they don't need. We want to get them on the right program that's going to service them. So I want you to put your schedule there and get the times and days that they prefer to work out. We're going to find out their current fitness routine, their goals, their why, to overcome the think about it objection. So how often do you currently work out? What's your current fitness routine? What does it consist of? Cardio, weight training, different classes, yoga, Pilates, whatever that might be. And don't be afraid. Let's say we're at a Pilates studio and they circle Pilates. Because if I was happy with my current fitness studio, I wouldn't need to go shop around somewhere else. If I'm happy at the place that I'm at, I wouldn't need to go shop around, right? Next, we're going to talk a lot about the why. What are your personal fitness goals? I want them to write them down. Sometimes you get this very surface level. weight loss, fat loss, improve overall health, variety, athletic performance, right? This is important to know because as we guide through the weight loss, through the performance, we have to build credibility and make the recommendations that they're looking for. I'm not going to sell someone on the fact that other people have lost 30 pounds when they come in looking for athletic performance. We have to guide them through the right avenue there. Next questions. What were you doing when you were your most physically active? That's going to get them to circle back and reconnect back with their best self, their best fitness self. So what were you doing when you were most physically active? Well, most people were probably working out 4, 5, 6 times a week. Most people were probably eating well. I know a lot of you have nutrition options in there as well. So we want to get them to connect back so that ultimately when we sell, we know that, hey, look, when you were your most physically active and when you were your best self or your fittest self, this is what you were doing. Finally, on a scale of 1 to 10, how passionate are you about achieving your fitness goals, right? If any of you have watched on LRVT, Matt Kafora and I, we do an objection handling segment. And guess what? If they circle a 2, we're going to give them a high 5. 2 is better than a 0, right? If they're going to circle a 6, we're going to give them a high 5 no matter what. Maybe a Y5 right now because of COVID, no physical touching, but we're going to congratulate them. They have made the step to walk in that day. Also, you're going to hear Mike and some of our salespeople later today talk about heat checks and touch points. This is great to utilize as we go through the client intake process and they started out as a 2. Now I can heat check them. Are we closer to a 4 or a 5 now? How are we feeling? I know you were a 2 5 minutes ago. Are we closer to a 4 or a 5? Oh, it was a 6 or a 7. Are you a little closer to an 8 or a 9? That's a heat check as we look to get them closer and closer up to that 10. Next objections that we face. The spousal objection, past experiences, we're going to look for information for the coach. What obstacles have you faced in the past in achieving your goals? I'm asking you flat out why you've said no to people before, why you've said no to someone in fitness before. What obstacles have you faced? Do you have the support of the people closest to you? That's how we can touch on the spousal objection. Do you have any exercise injuries or restrictions? This is going to be good information for the coach. And do you have any questions for me? Now you'll notice on that on the support of the people closest to you, for those of you that encounter spousal objection, I'm going to go back up to here to select profile information. And now I can go back because most people will put their spouse as their emergency contact information. So when they put their spouse as their emergency contact information, I'm going to do one of 2 things. I'm going to find out what their spouse does for fitness. What does your husband do? Oh, he likes to go to big box gyms, or he likes to lift weights. Oh, great. Does he know that you enjoy doing more of the boutique, more of the fitness classes? Yeah, he knows. Great. The other thing that I can do, I can look for a referral right there. Does he want to come in and take a free workout, or does she want to come in and take their first workout, first class as well? So the point, we can leverage the emergency contact information in order to maybe look for a second referral up there. We talked about this a little bit as well. Our new objection that we're facing is COVID, right? And that's where we come into, what are your expectations of a fitness studio? I already mentioned this, right? This is the opportunity to wow them. My goal is to get you as close to closing people that are closable. And we need to find out all of the objections in this intake form so that when we go to ask them for that sale, we've now been able to ask the questions pre-sale, pre-close, so that we can overcome those objections before they've even been presented, right? Our new objection, again, COVID. Look, we're keeping up with all of the latest guidelines. Cleaning, social distancing, limited capacity. Does this work for you? I want to find out if this works for them so that I know that we're not going to have that hiccup when we go to close, right? We're going to notice a lot of people use that as a smoke screen now. So I want to alleviate that objection before they've even walked into the door. On the back side of our client intake form, we want to give the coach For our fifth component, we want to give our coach or our fitness instructor or our trainer as much information as possible so that the coach can help them with their goals. So we're going to put down, what are their fitness goals? What membership recommendation do you think they're going to, or what membership would you recommend? Any notes for the coach? When they're probably most likely going to be to find kind of their next workout, right? So for any of you that are doing a free week, let's get them booked in. We want to get them booked in 3, 4, 5 classes. So let's put their next workout and allow that. So we're going to share that information with the coach. So I'm going to ask you your 3 questions as a little evaluation right now. Number 1, are we doing things so that we can overcome the objection before they come up? Question number 2, am I asking the right questions? You might have to deviate a little bit away from the client intake form. Maybe you're a personal training or a small group personal training studio. So maybe you want to ask a question in there of, hey, have you ever done personal training or small group personal training before? Find that out, right? What kind of questions can you ask? Are you finding objections that are coming up through industry trends? And are you adding that into the client intake process? Finally, am I building a significant enough relationship during the client intake in order to get them prepared and ready for the coach, instructor, ready for the workout? So ask yourselves those 3 questions. The 5th and final component, we're going to talk a little bit about the handoff and the handback between the front desk, the sales associate, and the coach. We got to transfer the trust. This person has just shared with you they want to lose 30 pounds, that they, for my friends out there in OsteoStrong, that they have bone density issues. They've shared some information that's come from the heart. They've shared that with the front desk from a sales associate, whatever that might be. We now need to transfer that trust that they have of you over to that coach. Now remember, coaches, for my coaches out there, sometimes you guys can be a little daunting, right? You guys, you're the fitness coach, right? Sometimes the consumer can think, oh, the coach is going to judge me. We want to alleviate that. We want to transfer that trust over and that the coach is now going to take them through. So we're going to share all of the important details about them. So-and-so or Sally here wants to do this. Here are their goals. Here's what they want to achieve. Here's any of the information that I need to give you. They have an injury. They have a shoulder injury that might bug them, whatever that might be. This is all useful information for the coach to know, because our coaches, you guys are going to have touch points along the way. If I have a shoulder injury, I want my coach to come check on my shoulder during the workout, right? If I have something that's going to restrict me, I want my coach to come in and check on that as well, right? Now, let's talk a little bit about what happens after the workout. I'm going to trust that my coaches, you guys give a wow workout, a wow experience filled with personal touches along the way. You've comforted them, you've corrected them, you've congratulated them on great form. Maybe you've given them some challenges along the way, and they feel super connected to you. Now you've earned the right to hand them back to our front desk, right? So what it's going to sound like a little here. What was your favorite part of the workout, right? This is the fitness professional sale. What was your favorite part of the workout? So we're going to now connect them with something inside of the workout that they enjoyed. Maybe it was a piece of equipment. Maybe it was a portion of the cardio, whatever that might be, right? We're going to talk about how the workout works. What are the benefits of doing this workout? And we're going to touch upon the goals that we know. Again, if I walk into your studio and I say I want to lift heavier, run faster, be a better athlete, then when my coach or my fitness professional goes to sell me at the end, I want them to tell me how your workout is going to relate to me lifting heavier, being a stronger athlete, whatever that might be. Now, when we do this well, we've gone in and we've given them a 45-minute workout, an hour workout, a 30-minute workout, we have now earned the right to prescribe them exercise. As a fitness professional, it is your duty, it is your job to prescribe exercise. I'll use the analogy. I go into a chiropractor, I think I understand exercise, I think I have a good background on physiology, kinesiology, but I go to a chiropractor, I tell the chiropractor I want to, my back is bugging me, I want to lift heavier, be a better athlete. The chiropractor takes me through, cracks my back. Then at the end, takes me to the front desk, right? Front desk checks me out. They take my insurance. So what do I say to the chiropractor? All right, see you same time next year? I don't know, right? I don't know. If the chiropractor doesn't tell me, you need to come in twice a week, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, and they put them on a treatment plan, then how am I supposed to know, right? So you've earned the right to prescribe them. So that's where you get to tell them, I want you to do it 4 times per week, 5 times per week. I want you to add in this nutrition. You've earned the right to prescribe. No matter where you are, if you're from yoga to Pilates, you've earned the right to tell them. Now remember, the average consumer doesn't know this. They don't know how often they have to work out. They don't know how often they have to come to your services. You must prescribe. You're also going to set the goals and the time of the next workout. For instance, I'll see you because we've prepped their free week. We know that they're coming in again on Thursday at 6 a.m., right? So now we've set the goals. Here's what the prescription's going to do. Here's how it's going to help you achieve your goals. Here's the next time I'm going to see you. This is now allowing them to hand back off to the front desk, your sales associate, your membership consultant. Now they're going to listen. They're involved in that conversation. They're listening. The close for the front desk is referencing the instructor, the fitness professional, right? They are the professional. They know what they're talking about. Everyone wants to look like their coach, be like their coach or instructor, whatever it might be, right? They want that, right? So now, Coach Miguel, my friend Miguel out in LA, right? Coach Miguel says to do this if you want to achieve this, this, and this. So that's why we're putting you on this program. It is ultimately going to help you sell more memberships. And this can be something we can all improve on. The coach sells the workout. So, clients ask themselves 3 questions post-workout. The 3 S's, I like to say. Number 1, did you make me feel significant? How do we make someone feel significant? That's the first question I want you to write down. How do we make someone feel significant? Their names. We get to know them. Think about your best coaches, your favorite coaches. I'm sure we played a sport at one point in time as we grow up. What did your coaches know about you? What details did they know? Did they know how to push you? Did they know they had to pull you along? Right? That makes you feel significant as a player on that team. Number 1, did you make your intro, your first timer, feel significant? Number 2, did you make them feel safe? Not only are we talking COVID safe, we're talking safe in the workouts, functional training, lifting up weights, dumbbells. Maybe they're postpartum. How do I make my clients feel safe? The shoulder injury, the check-in points during that, right? No one ever wants to feel like they're going to get injured. The third question, did you make me feel successful? How do we make people feel successful? Number 1, we congratulate them for even walking in the door. Maybe they just need that encouragement. We congratulate them walking in the door multiple times. Now we're making them feel significant and successful. They're now creating their own success, right? For my friends that have brag boards and stuff like that, that is how we make people feel successful. It doesn't always have to be, I lifted heavier, I ran faster, I'm a better athlete. For a lot of people out there, it's just a matter of getting into a routine. It doesn't always have to be about transformation and looks. It should feel like home, right? For my friends out there in Spenga, Pittsford, I found my crew. My friends out there in Oxygen. Oxygen makes me smile every day. That is significant. That is successful. And I'm sure they felt safe during their workout too, right? That is how we do it. What are the 3 S's? So, as I wrap up today, I want you to, all the way back about 35 minutes ago, and I appreciate you guys staying with me this long. Number 1, do we establish our expectations? Do I as employee know my expectations? Do I as the employer set expectations? Have we built a lead calling process? Are we prepared for efficiency? Are we ready to be efficient? Are we ready to optimize? Increase the pace, the sales pace calculator. Number 3, are we ready for the experience? Do we have the nameplates? Are we welcoming them? Is it vibrant? Is there energy? Is it clean? Have we prepared for the sale? Have we gone through the client intake form? Have we asked them to arrive the 20 minutes, 30 minutes early that we need them to in order to successfully go over a client intake form? Asking someone to arrive 5 minutes early, I don't get to know you. I don't know you. Go take the workout. Right now, you're just a transaction to them. Are we prepared and ready for the sale? The last thing I'll leave you with, remember, people cancel memberships. They don't cancel relationships. And as we navigate this time, we are in the relationship business. We are in the human connection business. They will find a way to make 169, 299, whatever that might work, 499. They will find a way to make it work. We are in the human relationship business. Thank you so much for sharing this time with me.